be a juggler in high school. You know, I don't know if I like the hooded Robin. You got a hat, you got a cap, you got a hood. What's going on, bro? You trying to hide?
I'm just repping the Raiders, baby. You know?
Fair enough. What is going on, Crypto fam? Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. We are coming at you live from our studio in Sin City, Nevada. My name is David. I'm one of your co-hosts. Quick disclaimer before we get into the content. I am not, neither is Robin, your financial advisor. So please don't take anything we say as financial advice. Always do your own research. With that being said, allow me to introduce you to my and your co-host, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. It's your boy, Big Rob. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information, and we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, if you weren't aware, we don't just do live streams here. We also do the deep dives. Just the live stream, though. Check out the deep dives. And then, David?
Yes.
I got something to tell the viewers. Guess what?
What do you got?
You ain't liked the video yet. What the hell is wrong with you?
What the hell?
If you ain't subscribed yet, what in the hell is wrong with you?
Double hell.
And don't make me tell you the third time about the notification bell. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yes.
So now the markets are looking good, man. You know, I woke up today. I was getting the push notifications on my iPhone. Basically, it was smacking me in the face telling me I made money. My iPhone literally was like, yo.
It's funny because I don't see no slap marks on your face.
Well, your boy got I got leathery skin up here. You know, I can just straight take smacks all day. You know, I was a backyard amateur boxer growing up.
And also, don't forget to tell everyone you were homecoming king.
Yes, 2002 homecoming king, Grammy High School. That's right.
You're never gonna
North
let
of
that go,
Virginia.
are you?
You know, hey, there's certain accomplishments that people can hang their hat on. For me, it is definitely homecoming king. I put it on all of my resumes when I go out.
You're so stupid, bro.
It's like my resume includes includes my KD on Call of Duty and also homecoming king 2002. So
Makes a lot of sense as to why no one would hire you.
yeah. Well, you know what? That's why me and you decided to start our own YouTube channel.
I was like, I ain't starting no channel without anyone who's been a homecoming king. That was my number one priority.
That was the prerequisite.
Yeah.
And boy checked all the boxes.
Yeah,
So-
all of $1. Let's give a quick shout out to the chat. Malik was first. Congratulations. You win an air hug. Also, Russell, HP, Chef Murder, Mayad, Gilberto. Welcome back, bro. Sean, what is going on, bro? And then Nashawn. Sean and Nashawn.
Double Sean.
Double Sean. And then we also have a special guest in the studio today. Let's show the studio cam. Drew, say hi.
What's up, guys?
This is one of my good friends, Drew. He is a Las Vegas local. He is an agent for NFL players. So we have an NFL article we're going to talk about. And what better person to give his viewpoint than someone who works directly with the athletes and with the league. So we're excited for that. Also,
Real quick question, off topic. How the Raiders shaping up this year? You know,
Raiders are gonna be nice, man.
Raiders gonna be good. All right.
Yeah,
I
they're
hate
gonna be
the Raiders.
nice.
I hate the
man.
Raiders.
No, I went to a good amount of games last year. So
Drew, do you have a favorite NFL team?
Yeah, I do. The New York Giants. They've
Giants.
sucked for a long time.
man.
You know what, though? Giants fans are very loyal. Through thick and thin, through dethroning Brady to going 1-16 or whatever the hell they went.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, the AFC West is going to be the toughest division in football. That's what we were kind of talking about before we got going. I think that every team has made legitimate moves, even yesterday with Tyreek Hill moving on to the Dolphins, but the Chiefs getting a bunch of picks in return. I think they ended up getting 5 or 6 draft picks for him. I mean, it's going to be crazy. That's going to be a wild division. There's going to be a lot. I think that you could see 3 teams potentially make the playoffs from that division alone.
One of them's in our backyard.
Yeah.
We'll see. Even though I hate the Raiders, I still
I
want
went to Applebee's one time and back in Virginia, and I was sitting next to Plexico Burress, and I remember that was before.
Isn't that the dude that shot himself?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Anyways, he's from Virginia. He's from my hometown, And I remember asking him, I was like, this Eli Manning guy, that was before he got going. I was like, man, he seems kind of a bust, man. And he was just laughing me
2
off.
Super Bowls later.
Yeah, and then that was
Eli's the best. I love Eli.
yeah. So he just like laughed at me. It was just like this guy. So, anyways,
right.
that's my New York Giants affiliation. there.
Robin's got a story about everything, Drew. Just you'll find out as you go through the show with us today. All right, let's start with our show. Let's first we're sending it over to Robin. Gonna do a little market overview, talk about what the markets are looking like. Robin, take it away.
All right. So as I mentioned, woke up today and lots of green. So Bitcoin crossed the $44,000 mark, sitting over top of that now. Hopefully 44,000 will become the new support. We have the giant number, the big resistance, the freaking the defensive lineman here, since we got the NFL as topic. Anyways, big resistance at 44.5. So if we can cross $44,500 and stay above it, looks like we are going to be entering into a new bullish trend, perhaps a bull market, maybe lead us into new all-time highs. So if you're looking to increase that portfolio, you're looking for the green, the time is now. Look at this chart, man. This is fundamentally what you want to see for solid growth. You have consolidation, run up, consolidation, run up, consolidation. I mean, just imagine this should play out exactly like it did on the other two steps here. So, if you're looking for some good indicators, this is it. We're gonna break this down in TA towards the end of the show. David's gonna go over this with his analytics charts, but just from the outside, from the optics looking in, absolutely gorgeous. A great time to be in crypto. If you're looking to take profits,
Huge Bitcoin news today, by the way.
Yeah, man, great Bitcoin news. A lot of speculation, in my opinion, but we'll see. Ethereum sitting well over $3,000. Still an amazing buy. I still think $10,000 Ethereum is very likely during this year, especially with the upgrade coming up June 22nd. So, a big day for us. That's right around the corner. I would expect a pump coming up before June. So if we're sitting in just about April here, so we only have a couple months left. So
do you think they're gonna fulfill that timeline, or you?
Yeah. Well, the thing is usually you get the pump before the you buy the news.
Buy the rumor.
Whatever the damn term is. Either way, I would expect ETH to go on a straight tear in the next, say, 3 weeks. That would be my guess. So
I think for ETH to go on a tear, you're going to need to see the NFT market,
because we were sitting at what, 2,800 for a while when Bitcoin was down. So you're only a couple $100 above that. So still a great time to enter. We see what Cardano has done. Cardano's on a freaking just a run. Look at this chart. I mean, you want to talk about a sexy chart right here. You ain't even. My boy over here, Drew. I'm sure he don't know nothing about charts, but that looks good, right? So I could see ETH doing the same. So this kind of the same run up 40% in a week. I think Ethereum is probably next, in my opinion. And then we'll go into the analytics and the probabilities of that and potential zones for breakout. But definitely $5,000 Ethereum. I think now's a great time, man. Great buy. Now the rest of the market. Oh, well, let's take a look. I tried to look up what's going on with Axie Infinity. So a lot of movement, over 20% for the day. I didn't see anything. I saw something about Vietnam, but no fundamental news. So I would be weary jumping into Axie for the simple fact that I'm not seeing any news on the internet.
Is that an Ola coin?
Ola coin.
Oh, Holo. Thought it was Ola.
Ola coin. Yes, that is Ola coin. Now, Aave up 10%. So then looking at the week, Ethereum Classic up 78% for the week, which is quite interesting. ApeCoin, will this last? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I just don't think for risk reward. I don't think ApeCoin's a great project to get into. Just because, what do you think the high for it is? $18? I mean, it could get
There's
as high as
only-
25.
There's only a billion tokens.
But here's the
man.
thing.
mean,
I think more likely than not, I could see a big pullback. I could see $7 ApeCoin before I see $22 ApeCoin.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I think that's more likelihood. So for risk reward, I'll kind of stay away. If I do see it dip to like $9 again, I'll probably pick some more up. But I mean, we saw that it not only did it retrace, pump, and then it came right back though. So it did hit this 16. It dropped all the way down to $9, as I mentioned.
what are your
See, I bought here at 9 and then I sold at 14, and then lo and behold, it dropped to 9 again, and then it hit 14 again.
What are your thoughts
So
on
if I see this happen a third time, I'm gonna freaking pull the trigger on that.
What are your thoughts on it just being listed like immediately on all the top exchanges? I mean, we've
What?
never seen that.
It's an ERC20 token, first of all, and it's also a DAO. So there's no like company behind it, so it's easier to be listed. First of all, you're not running a different chain, and nobody owns it, so it can't really be labeled as a security. So for that reason, it's easily listable. And but here's the thing: Yuka Labs endorsed it. And so they have a lot of lawyers and money behind them, so they can get the representatives out to the exchanges, and then just kind of line up that launch. I mean, you want to talk about a successful launch of a project? I mean, this is the blueprint for it.
absolutely.
Basically, no company owns it, and yet one of the biggest companies in the crypto space endorsed it and probably got all the deals lined up for it. So
Yeah.
now, taking a quick look at the traditional markets. If you're new to the channel, we just like to take a quick look at the traditional markets, just because they are somewhat correlated. If you get big moves in the traditional markets, usually that spills over or nudges the crypto markets as well. We are in the green across the board here: S&P 500, Nasdaq, especially the Nasdaq, which is more indicative of tech-driven stocks and pretty more or less the most correlated out of the index funds, with crypto up 1.22%. So really bullish. I think I don't see any indicators for a pullback in crypto right now. I mean, everything
The
is.
VIX is dropping
If you would have asked me earlier this week, I'm like, man, there's a lot of narrative right now. I don't really feel comfortable with, saying that we're gonna pump, but everything's pointing that direction at this point. I mean, there's no metric. I mean, even the crypto fear and greed index, we're over 40. We're almost at 50, which is neutral. And so the fear is yesterday we're at 31. I mean, just look at the sentiment just from one day. And then last week 27, last month 20. So people are feeling more comfortable getting in and out of the market. They're more comfortable with trades. So really bullish. So I think even if we are in a fake out and we're going to continue into the bear market, for an example, there's no doubting you're going to get at least 2-3 weeks of green here. So right now, great time to be in, great time to to buy on this run up, because I think we're gonna be pumping for the next couple weeks. Anyways, that's all I got there, bro.
Cool. Thanks for that. When like Robin said, we'll get into more of the technicals and charts and indicators, buying zones, selling zones, more towards the end of our show in our market analysis. With that being said, we're gonna move on.
Real quick though.
Go ahead.
You think we're gonna get 21 viewers today?
Man, it's been a while, bro.
We're at 10.
We're at 10.
So if you're not familiar, if you just happen to join in and you haven't watched our show, hola. And when we get to 21 viewers, 21 is a big number here.
Yes.
We're in Vegas. We love 21.
21 means you're winning.
And you know what else we do good here in Vegas? We have bomb ass nightclubs, and we like to party. So when we get to 21 viewers, we're gonna open up the club. If you're not familiar with that, we play some music. We get this place bumping, and then what else do we do?
Give out free money.
We give out crypto. We give out that Bitcoin.
We're giving out $50 today.
$50.
50
huh?
bucks.
All right.
$50 bucks in Bitcoin.
All you gotta do is just hang out and watch the show, and then drop us your Twitter handle that has a Bitcoin address attached to it, and we'll send you some straight cashola.
Yep. And you gotta make sure you follow us on Twitter too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Let's get into our next segment, the hot take.
It's hot.
So our hot take today is a good one. So let's say you start a crypto project and you have the ability to hire either Charles Hoskinson, who is the founder of Cardano, Or you have the option of hiring Anatoly Yakovenko, which is the founder of Solana, to run your project. Different styles, right? You can see the different growth from Cardano and Solana, right? So who would you pick? Would you go with good old Charles, or would you go with the man behind Solana to run your crypto project? I will send it to Robin first. But Robin, first, we have a new person in the chat. Will you welcome them, please? 2 new people in the chat.
All right. So Victor and Atomic. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. So Victor, he says, "What's up, David?"
What's going on?
Why didn't you say "What's up, Robin"? That's what I want to know. Or
Oh,
Big-
Victor, that's my boy.
Oh, okay.
My boy. Welcome back, bro.
So you recruit.
He dropped in. He dropped in like last week, and then said hi, and then left. I hope you're gonna stay this time, bro. All right. That's all I got.
Then Atomic Adam, he says he's from Vegas as well. So we love our homegrown viewership here.
That's right.
We also have Stereo 2, who's also in Vegas as well. So yeah, man, let's support the community. If you have any friends that are in crypto, let them know. And then yeah, we got a studio here in town. If you're not a creeper, you can always come by and take a look at the studio. I had to put that disclaimer because we did run into somebody that was from Vegas, and let's just say yeah, boys, we had to change the locks up in here. You know what I'm saying? So
Twice. Oh man. All right. So Robin,
okay,
you got a new crypto project.
new crypto project.
You're going. You're hiring Hoskinson. You're hiring the Solana man.
Oh man. Okay. How am I doing financially? Because that makes a big difference.
You are.
If your boy needs a strap for cash,
You've
I'm gonna
got-
leave.
You've got the funding.
Okay.
You've got everything just has to be launched and then progressively grown.
Okay. All right. So I'm a big fan of Charles Hoskinson, and I'm a big fan of Cardano. Unfortunately, if you are running a chain, the way that he runs his system is that it's gonna be a while before this thing properly launches, and it's all about methodically testing and releasing and studying and upgrading slowly and implementing, and I think that is probably the best way. I always relate the Cardano network to comparison would be like Apple. Everybody understands that Apple's products are they're pretty solid, right? I mean, you never really buy a piece of Apple product, whether it be the MacBook or the desktop or even the iPhone. They're very reliable. They don't break. There's no software issues, and a lot of it comes from the research and development, and not putting out something that you're not 100% behind. And so with blockchain, a lot of the issues that pop up here, and a lot of the black eyes that we see is that this chain had failed. There was a backdoor issue. There was a glitch. There was a hack, and most of it always circles back to the same narrative: is that people didn't vet didn't release the project out correctly. They didn't check all the boxes. They just rushed to put something out, and I think Charles Hoskinson's way of going about it is the way I would. Now, if you're trying to make money, have profit at the bottom of your P&L report, then obviously it's not going to be favorable in the long run, in the short term.
Yeah.
So.
Look, I could I like Hoskinson myself, but looking at, and you guys will be surprised at my answer, I'm going with Yakovenko from Solana. Okay, so I know I always talk crap about Solana. The network is spotty. I sold all my Solana. But here's the thing. In this landscape, right, crypto and blockchain, we are so early that it's a very forgivable space, especially if you get community and you get utility on your project. So Hoskinson's strategy is methodical, slow, take your time, make sure everything is absolutely perfect before you launch. Anatoly Yakovenko from Solana, his process is if it's ready, launch it, and we'll make adjustments as we grow, as we see what needs to be fixed. And I feel like in the current landscape today, with so many new projects coming out, with so much hype around blockchain and crypto, right? The space is absolutely exploding from every single sector. You got DeFi, you have stable coins, you have the NFT market, You have liquidity pools. So for me, you hear the adage, fake it until you make it, right? I'm not saying be fake. All I'm saying is if you wait for everything to be absolutely perfect before you launch, you might never launch. Or you might watch projects that launch before you just absolutely explode and you'll get left in the dust. So for current market landscape and what I'd be looking for and making sure the people that are investing in my project are happy, because when the community turns on you, it's not good. Now, I wouldn't launch a product or a project that's got a lot of backdoor issues, but if it's minuscule stuff where you're like, I'm not sure how we would play out, I say launch it. We'll fix it as we go. That is what Anatoly Yakovenko has done with Solana Labs and the Solana coin. You've seen DDoS attacks. You've seen the network go down. There's an article about the stable coin, what happened over the last couple of days with that. But currently right now, I would go with the Solana founder to run my project. I know I've said I'm not a big Solana fan, but it's just the way it is. So that's where I'm gonna go. Eddie, what's your take on this, Eddie? Nothing. Eddie has no take. So let's find out what the community thinks. Okay, so we did a poll yesterday. Eddie, if you can pull up my laptop. So the poll yesterday, who will you hire to run your project? And it looks like 76% of you would go with Mr. Huskinson. So looks like the chat, our community agrees with Robin. A lot of people agree with you. I wonder if they're like,
I'm a man of the people.
Like
man of the people here. Okay.
I wonder if they're scared of you or what the deal is. Are you blackmailing these people? Like, are you reaching out to them
I'm
behind the scenes?
amateur backyard boxer, so
I would
going
lay you out with one right hook.
Bro, I'm telling you, you look like you got a jaw made of Play-Doh.
You're you're scrawny as shit, bro. Now you want to talk about my boy Drew here? Ain't nobody taking this man. This dude is solid. All right, that'll do it for our hot take. Let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, the talking points. A lot of articles and big information to cover. So without further ado, the talking points. All right, so we first have a video for you guys. This is the man himself, Peter Schiff. He went on a talk show or a news channel and talked about interest rate hikes and inflation. Pretty interesting stuff. So we're going to go ahead and roll the video. We're going to come out of it. And we're going to discuss. Go ahead, Eddie. Roll the video.
Markets are accurately pricing in inflation.
No, I don't think they're accurately pricing it in yet. I think the markets are still delusional with respect to inflation. I think most analysts still expect that what we're seeing is transitory. They just think the transition is taking longer than they first thought. They still think the inflation is driven by supply chain bottlenecks or the war with Russia and Ukraine. And so they think that all this stuff is going to unclog and prices are going to magically stop rising. But that's not going to happen. I mean, the inflation is being caused by the government, by the Federal Reserve. And I see the budget deficits and the trade deficits getting bigger and bigger. And so the Federal Reserve is going to continue to create more inflation. And even though the Fed has raised interest rates, they're still at 0.25%. Inflation, even if you buy the government's version of inflation, that is 8%, how are you going to put out 8% inflation fire with a squirt gun of 0.25% interest rate? I mean, that's never worked. Interest rates are historically negative. I mean, Paul Volcker in 1980, to finally get rid of inflation, rates went to 20%. The highest inflation got in 1980 was 13.5%. So he had 6.5% real rates to bend the inflation curve. How are we going to bend that curve when we have negative 7.5% interest rates? There is no incentive to change your spending and borrowing and consumption patterns with a negative 7.5% rate. It's not like people are going to be incentivized to start saving now because they want to earn that negative 7.5%. Of course not. People aren't going to stop borrowing even though they're getting paid 7.5% to borrow. A negative interest rate means you're being paid to go out and take out a loan. So people are going to keep doing that. Nothing is going to change. Inflation is going to keep getting worse. The Fed is actually pursuing an inflationary monetary policy under the guise of fighting inflation. Just because you're less loose than you were before doesn't mean you're tight. And of course, you're not even less loose because inflation is accelerating faster than the Fed is hiking rates. So rates in real terms are actually lower today than they were many, many months ago when the Fed first started contemplating the first quarter-point rate hike.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised to say this, but the man's got a point. The man's got a great point. Robin, I want to hear your thoughts on this first. What do you?
I
What
like
do you
his squirt gun comment.
Yeah, that was
so
funny. We all laughed in the studio.
Inflation is at basically 8%. At least that's what the government says. I think it's more realistic. Price of gas is up more than 8%. The price of houses are up more than 8%. Price of rent is up more than 8%. I mean, give me an asset outside of maybe your electricity bill, and asset, a commodity, anything that isn't up more than 10%. I can't think of one thing. And I mean, maybe the water and your utilities, and those are set in contracts for periods of time.
Right.
So they can't really be adjusted.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, so I mean, I went to was it Dillard's, and I bought a no brand leather belt, and it cost me $100. And I'm like, you know what I mean? We're not even talking Gucci here, just straight up, just leather belt, like whatever generic brand that was. And I'm like, $100, huh? And anyways,
So do you think the only way to come out of this deep inflation we're in is to raise rates?
no, I
Matching
mean, there's
inflation?
so inflation is a culmination of multiple market factors. One being interest rates. I mean, at the rate that the government lets banks borrow money and corporations borrow money, and then the fact that they don't have to pay anything back in the form of interest, is one of the factors to inflation. But I think the more glaring issue is some call quantitative easing, or people refer to as QE. QE. And with that, it's basically the injection of money into corporate bonds, and that is through the government. They're basically paying. We saw this first in 2008 with the housing market crash. Basically, they injected money into the banking system to support the banks from collapsing because they lent out too much money to people that couldn't afford to pay it back. When the housing market crashed, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all of the big players, they were like, oh, crap, like, hey, government, we need some help. We overextended ourselves. And so then this brought up this new idea. So when COVID came out, they just started injecting cash into not into the corporate sector, but into the people. And then on top of that, you tell everybody not to go anywhere. So you're giving people checks, you're giving them unemployment, and then they're not working, and they're sitting on a ton of cash. So what do? They inject that into the market. So you're printing money, and then they're spending it on things that they don't need to be spending it on, getting money that they don't normally have, and you basically doubled the money supply in the course of 2.5 years, more than doubled the money
That's
supply.
insane.
So I mean, you don't need to be an economics major to understand that if you have X amount of money, if you double it, what's going to happen to the value of the money? Obviously, the price of it you're going to have less buying power, especially when you give it to a bunch of people that have no interest in, like, doing, saving it, or what I mean. Like, they just went to Walmart and just like, woo, like rolling out big ass TVs, like,
And a lot of people bought crypto with their
Yeah.
stimulus checks.
Yeah,
too.
we
That's
saw
why I
that.
saw that big run up in March and April.
There's a lot of metrics that tie in. We should have pulled it up, but there was some metrics that during the exact issuance of the checks, you saw the inflows into the exchanges run up too. So I think they issued out 3 checks during the virus
You
era.
remember when the first check was?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm assuming March is when we had our shutdown. I think they were pretty quick at that.
You remember when the first checks were? No, Eddie, do you remember?
Yeah. Either way,
We'll figure it out.
there was a lot of that did funnel into crypto. I'm assuming, and I've seen some charts in it that support that theory, but no. So Peter Schiff's right. Like, if you're gonna combat inflation. Obviously, having the interest rate at a 0.25%, a quarter of 1%, when your inflation is at 8%, obviously that's not gonna help. So there's that. But then there's obviously the supply chain issues. So even if you do raise up the interest rate, I mean, the price of goods are inflated for the simple fact that it's not coming here. So you take the look at the price of lumber. So why are the prices of houses up? The prices of a house is more expensive because the price of lumber is more than doubled. And the lumber is coming from generally overseas. So Russia is a big exporter of lumber, not just the commodities with the oil and platinum, but so lumber is a big export of theirs, and that's been cut off. And not to mention China also has a lot of exports when it comes to lumber too. So it is now. I was talking to somebody. It's over $1 million. Was it with Eddie? Was it Eddie? Yeah. So to build $1 million house now costs $1 million.
Damn.
So just think about that. The cost of the materials and the labor, because the labor has also shot up recently with the contractors, and everybody's in this bidding war. So to build a $500,000 house costs $1 million. So where do you make the money? So obviously you list it for higher than what it is, and then in turn, that's why you see everybody overbidding for houses. You see a house listed for $500,000, you go in with $600,000, right? And when that sells, the real estate agent is doing the appraisal, or has the appraisal guy come by, and he's doing an appraisal, and he's looking at the houses. He's like, well, this house sold for $600,000. And then now your house is, it just keeps snowballing. So how do we get out of this thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my opinion, this is how we get out of it. You raise interest rates, the supply chain eases up, and things get back to normal, and we go through a recession.
I think recession.
And you get a housing market pullback. I think those four things. Now, is it going to happen? Do I even want it to happen? I don't even know. At this point, I don't know. But I think that those four factors would have to be what would have to happen for us to get back to some normalcy with the dollar. So,
yeah, I was just I was trying to look at what times, but if you pull up my laptop, Eddie, just kind of go back to what Robin was saying. So this is the Bitcoin number of transfers to exchanges. So this is from the beginning of 2020 till the middle of 2021.
Dollars. This
is dollars going into exchanges. So you had or number of transfers to exchanges.
Yeah, look at that March of 20. Look at that big spike right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a check for sure.
Yep, that was a check. And I believe we had one in September as well, which would put us right here at this level. So just kind of give you a visual of what Robin was talking about, because we saw a huge run up. You can take it away, Eddie. We saw a huge run up, after we shut down. Like Robin said, I got paid from the company I was working for. I got checks from the government. I had 3 kids, so I got stimulus payments that way. But it's like, we can't go on vacation. We can't go anywhere. Everywhere's closed. What did I do? I FOMO'd into Bitcoin. I FOMO'd into crypto. I added to my positions. So, and that's what a lot of people did, right? It's like crypto is something that if you're not in it 100%, it's something that you keep hearing, you keep seeing on the news. So eventually, you keep hearing about something, you're going to want to know what it's about. And what better time to learn about it, to be able to invest money in it when you're stuck at home, can't go out, have a shitload of extra cash. It was a perfect storm for crypto. It brought it to the forefront of the mainstream of the retail investors, and here we are today. Things are looking good. All right.
Well, with all this inflation talk, we're in the right spot. We're in the right place.
We're on the right place.
And you know what? Bitcoin can't be inflated. Right now. There's 18 million. Bitcoin is about to be 19 million.
Yeah.
And throughout the history, and through the history of Bitcoin moving forward, it'll never be more than 21 million. And for that reason alone, it is a scarce asset and it cannot be manipulated. So it doesn't matter what the rest of the world does. If you have your wealth in Bitcoin, it's going to do nothing but grow, because fiat currency does nothing but inflate. History has only shown that is 100% accurate. All currencies inflate over time.
This is true.
This
is true. All right, let's move on to our first article we're going to cover today. Big news coming out of Russia. Russia could sell gas for Bitcoin, says Energy Committee chief. Top Russian energy official Pavel Zavalny has said that Russia is open to accepting Bitcoin payments for energy exports. And if you know anything about Russia, their biggest export, their biggest moneymaker is energy. So essentially, is this Bitcoin being legal tender?
What do you think Elizabeth Warren is going to say when she gets a hold of this on her desk?
Here's what she's going to say, and we'll probably play the video. You see, this is what I'm saying. Cryptocurrency is only used for bad actors, for people to evade sanctions, or Vladimir Putin. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, this is definitely not only fuel from Russia, but it's also fuel for politicians to put more regulations or at least threaten Bitcoin as far as being an option to circumvent sanctions and things of that nature. So watch out, because if they actually, because right now this is kind of a buzz, right? It's not official. So if all of a sudden, let's just say any nation state, let's say India starts purchasing oil from Russia in Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
Good Lord. Oh man. It's
gonna be
at
an
that
absolute
point, the day that transaction.
You will see $100,000 Bitcoin and
No,
literally.
I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about the US freaking out.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're not
and
gonna have
politicians.
a choice.
I'm just saying that the second that transaction happens, man, the Congress is gonna be like, they're gonna freak out, man. All the Bitcoin haters they're gonna come out of their little mole holes. They're just gonna.
Bitcoin is immutable. You can't control it. So I'm sorry, and it's not going anywhere. So figure a way around it if you're concerned.
But you can't tell that to Elizabeth Warren and
She just needs.
Nancy Pelosi
She just needs to.
and all the other
I don't know
all
a
those
nice
other
way of
staunch
saying this.
ladies.
She's lived a long life. That's all I'll say. Long, healthy life. And she's made a lot of money. All right, back to the article. Russia's chairman of Energy Committee of the State Duma, Pavel, the same guy as Zavalny, has said that the country would be open to selling energy to the West for rubles, which is their national currency, gold, national currencies of friendly countries like China, or even Bitcoin. Russia is ready to accept anything other than, quote, candy wrapper fiat currencies like euros or US dollars. And this is a direct quote from Mr. Zavalny. We've been offering China to switch to transacting in national currencies such as ruble and the renminbi for a while now. With Turkey, that would be the lira and the ruble. Currency sets can be different. It's common practice. It would be necessary to trade with Bitcoin. We would do it. And then he said, we have lost all interest in euros and dollars. So now Russia is known for talking a big game. So, Robin, what are your thoughts on this article?
So is this why Bitcoin pumped? You know, that's kind of where I was. I saw this article. I'm like, this is huge news. I mean, you're talking about an entire nation state saying screw the dollar. Well,
And it's
not by their choice, but
and it's not nothing against El Salvador and Honduras, but we're talking a world power, like a world economic
the
power.
amount of money that Honduras like El Salvador has millions of dollars in Bitcoin. Not billions. They have millions of dollars in Bitcoin. They are a population of 9 million. They have 3 million active wallets for Bitcoin. So peanuts compared to what Russia has, at least even just on the trade of energy. So you're talking about billions and billions of dollars that are transacted daily through Russia's energy programs. And so it'll be huge, bro. It'll be huge.
And I'm just looking at a country comparison of El Salvador to Russia.
It's a GDP.
GDP 24 million to 14 billion. 24 million to 14 billion. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
So and a lot of their gross domestic product, as you mentioned, is tied up in energy.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, man, the day they fulfill a transaction where they send another nation state oil and in exchange for Bitcoin, it's gonna shake up a lot of things. Maybe the price of Bitcoin will shoot up. Congress will freak out. I think it's gonna be a little bit of both. It's gonna be volatility.
Yeah.
In just the narrative. So put it that way.
Yeah, I can see
Positive and negative.
Yeah. On the positive side, I can see a 40-50% jump like immediately.
Well, here's the thing, man. And here's the problem. You keep sanctioning people. You keep sanctioning entire governments and kicking them off your network.
they're gonna
What,
find
they're
other.
gonna go. Yeah, they're gonna go elsewhere. That's it. That's
They're
like
gonna lay down and die.
it's like the best comparison I could have would be like breaking up with your girlfriend and then getting mad when she finds a new boyfriend. Be like, well, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, yo, you cut her off, bro. You know, she found somebody
on.
else. Like, so be it. Don't be mad. Be like, well, she's not allowed to date anybody. Like, well, what do you mean? Like,
What you talking about, Willis?
exactly.
All right, let's move on. So yesterday, we on our market overview, we're like, Loopring is pumping. What's going on? Well, here's what's going on. GameStop NFT marketplace now live and powered by Loopring Layer 2. GameStop has confirmed its integration with Loopring into their highly anticipated NFT marketplace. And this is a tweet from Loopring. Future of NFTs are here. Plus, they're powered by Ethereum second layer. Power to the players, power to the creators, power to the collectors. According to Brauman from GameStop, in partnership with Loopring, it aims to provide fast, cheap, and secure access to digital ownership for the masses. They intend to give power back to the players, creators, and collectors, with GameStop at the forefront of these new global digital economies. He explained how users can now mint NFTs directly on Loopring's Layer 2 for, quote, fractions of the costly gas fees that tend to result from minting on Layer 1, aka Ethereum, approximately less than $1. Less than $1. NFT-related announcements tend to impact the price of GameStop shares, which were up 15% today, which was yesterday. Or no, when was this article written? This was written 19 hours ago, so yesterday. And where was I? Right here. Similarly, Loopring marked a sharp surge in trading volume over the past 24 hours and experienced a price change of 32% at the same time. So, Robin, on the surface, what are your like initial thoughts?
Well, we all knew
Oh,
this
what's
was
going
in the pipeline. It just went live. So the partnership behind GameStop and Loopring was already solidified, and now it's here. So you know, I think it'll probably be a pullback in the price, but this is a great for the long-term vision of GameStop. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. You know, I think a lot of people just see the headlines. They don't really digest what will transpire with it. So a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, GameStop partnered with Loopring. Yeah, that's cool. To bring an NFT marketplace, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, there's an NFT marketplace by GameStop. GameStop's got an NFT marketplace. Like, that's huge. I mean, we see the monetization opportunities just from the NBA with their Top Shots. I mean, the NFL is starting to get into it. The soccer or club leagues around the world, they've embraced crypto. And so you see how much money it can bring into the private industry. And you have an ailing franchise that obviously people are moving away from buying physical copies of video games, just in the same way that they're getting away from buying physical copies of movies, and you're starting to go digital. And so you need to be progressive as a company, and you need to pivot and change your marketing strategy. And if you see profitability from something like NFTs that can easily be tied into video game industry, then why not? Why not jump into it? And why not broaden your horizons? And so I think it's super bullish. I would, you know, if I was in the stock market, I do have some exposure, but it's pretty much just an S&P 500. But if I were gonna start getting into the stock market, you know, why not? This is pretty bullish. Why not get some GameStop stock for this reason alone? Still pretty undervalued as well. So,
and here's one thing to keep in mind: when you see a huge price pump from a big news article or rumor, the pullback is I don't want to say equally as sharp, but it's way sharper than if you see just the price of an asset grow at natural growth with no real huge news to catapult the price, like what happened to Loopring. So be aware of that. If you're holding Loopring, and of course, none of this is financial advice, I would look into taking a little bit of profit, and that's that. All right, let's move on. Possible bad news for XRP? Who knows? Let's find out. The SEC scores a minor victory in legal dispute with Ripple Labs. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has been granted an extension to submit a discovery schedule relating to individual defendants, Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of Ripple, and Chris Larsen, who is a co-founder, as part of the case against Ripple Labs. While the ruling in favor of the SEC in this instance marks a small win, some onlookers have suggested that the enforcement body is dragging its heels and slowing the case down to frustrate Ripple Labs. I would agree based on everything we've seen and we've been reading. The SEC shall inform the court of its position on whether any additional discovery is required within a week of the filing of the individual defendants, the order read. And the defendants now have until April 8th, the defendants being Ripple Labs, to submit an answer to the SEC's complaints, while the SEC's decision on additional discovery is due the following week on April 15th, and the joint proposed scheduling order is also due on April 22nd. So we're not seeing a 2, 3, 4, 5 month time window. We're seeing more of a 10, 2, 3, 4 week time window. But regardless, it is a small win for the SEC. Robin, what are you thinking? Is this bad for Ripple?
I don't know, man. It's still the same. It's the same story over and over again. You have the SEC just trying to drag this thing. It's been going on since 2020. We are in almost, come December, it'll be 2 years. I don't think it'll settle before, say, September, October. So we're talking about a court case that has been going on for 2 years, if not 3. And at some point, you need to realize that, first of all, this court case isn't just, a battle between the two. We've delisted XRP from all of the U.S. exchanges. So you're hurting growth. You're hurting the investors that are holding the XRP token. So if I'm invested in XRP, I have a good amount of my wealth stored in that token. You're literally hampering my financial success off of a speculation of being a security.
But Robin, the SEC cares so much about investor protection. They want to protect the investor. They want to protect
But here's
you,
the thing,
Robin.
like, why drag your feet? Like, why not? Obviously, and I agree. I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that, like, why not have a resolution? Why not come to one sooner than later? So that way you either shut it down.
What is the answer to that question then? What's the answer to that question? Why drag your feet?
Because that's how court cases work.
Do you think
that's how this is, this is a branch of the US financial system, and nothing in the US system that is run by the government runs fast. I mean, you look at the post office, you look at DMV, you look at the VA for our veterans. There's nothing. I can't think. Give me one single department of the U.S. government that runs fast.
The IRS when you owe them money.
Yeah. Well, actually, the money printers are on money printers here in the U.S.
Oh man,
are on
so
turbocharged.
Here's what I'm starting to think. Right, is the SEC right when they sue you, they expect you to be intimidated and want to settle. Well, Ripple XRP gave him the middle finger and said, no, we're going to take this thing the entire way. And so that probably hurt their ego a little bit. So what the article says is they're dragging their feet to upset like the Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. And the only thing you're doing is, like what Robin said, is you're hampering people's investment. You're messing with their money because you know that you're not going to win this case. And you keep dragging it out, hoping for a settlement. They're not going to settle. If you haven't picked up on that, something is wrong with you. Just end this shit so we can get over it, man. All right, let's move on. Some more government news in the U.S. This is a quote from President Nayib Bukele from El Salvador. The U.S. government does not stand for freedom, as he reacts to the U.S. bill passing Senate committee. The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, reacted to the news that the recently proposed Accountability for Cryptocurrency in El Salvador Act, which was brought up back in February of this year, has passed the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee and will now head to a full Senate vote. And this is his tweet. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought the U.S. government would be afraid of what we are doing here. The committee granted a pass to the ACES bill that is supposed to, quote, mitigate risks related to El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender and to, quote, legislation to recalibrate the State Department's risk tolerance abroad. Should the act secure the approval of the full Senate, it would require the federal government to assess the enactment of Bitcoin law in El Salvador and determine whether the nation can, quote, mitigate the financial integrity and cybersecurity risks and meet financial action task force requirements. A lot of layers to this. Robin, I'm going to go to you first.
It's straight BS, bro.
Thank you.
It is straight BS. First of all, you have a country that, as you mentioned earlier, has a $24 million GDP. So compared to the U.S. economy, this is very small.
Peanuts.
This is not like one of our major trade partners, as an example. And you know what? They were on the dollar, and it just seems like politicians are mad that they decided to go to a different currency. And you know what? It's not their fault. It's our fault. There's a reason they decided to leave the dollar. Because first of all, we have rampant inflation. And why would another country use the dollar when we just inflated our own currency by 100% this year per the government, which is actually, like we said, probably more realistic to 20%. And what is the incentive for another country to use the dollar? There's no incentive to it. And at least here in the U.S., we have some benefits to the inflation. You know, the stocks are going up, the valuation, you know what I mean? They're handing out free cash. They ain't giving no cash out to the El Salvadorian citizens.
Right.
And so we get all the positives of inflation here in the U.S., but no other country that is using the dollar gets those positive aspects. They only get the negative. So you've left other countries no choice that rely, you know. So what is Jamaica going to do? What is Honduras going to do? What are all of the other countries that use the dollar as their currency? Well, what are they, you know what I mean? You give them an option, be like, hey, man, you either use this or you're 10% inflation a year. So you're losing money constantly every year. Your savings account is getting poorer, or you can use Bitcoin, and that just goes up every year. You know what I mean? The answer's on the wall, and there's nobody to blame but ourselves. And if you're going to do a report and investigate, why don't you investigate your own monetary policy? Seriously, why are you investigating El Salvador? I mean, the answer is clean, cut, and simple there. So
you know, it's like
there's not to mention there's states here in the U.S. that are trying to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, and you're over here investigating El Salvador. Why don't you investigate Florida? Why don't you investigate?
So what you're saying is take care of yourself first.
Yeah, man.
So you know, Robin always says I'm bad at analogies. Here's a good one. When you're on an airplane and they give you
he's not good at analogies.
It's going to be a good analogy. It's going to be a good
Your analogy yesterday with the stars was
great. Just because it was a negative reflection on you, you didn't like it. So when you're on an airplane, they're giving you the, okay, if this happens and the mask drop, what do they tell you? Put your mask on first before you try to put it on your child. Because if you're not taken care of, how the hell are you going to take care of someone else?
Hold on. You're going to put your own mask on first? So the mask come down, you're supposed to ignore that, bro. The mask drop down, you take care of your kids first, bro. Kids, what happens when a ship is going down? Kids and women go first, not your damn self, man. Stop being selfish. You should be ashamed of yourself, bro. Can you believe that?
You always find
he's over here like his kid's like, and he's like, hold on a second. How do I tighten this right here? Like, pulling the straps. Kids flying out the window. Like, get out of here, man. You should be ashamed of yourself, bro.
Well, that's what they tell us on the flights. That's
you're supposed to ignore that too.
Jesus Christ, man. My point is,
you're also encouraged to snitch on your coworkers too. Are you gonna do that? Yeah, get out of here, man.
If you're not good with your money, you have no room to tell someone else to be good with their money.
Terrible analogies.
Put a 1 in the chat if that was a good analogy.
The plane will go down.
No.
This man right here, he'll have his mask on.
Shut up for 5 seconds. We're finding out what the community thinks. Put a 1 in the chat if you thought that was a good analogy. Put a 2 in the chat if you thought that was a great analogy. I'm curious to know what you guys think. All right, let's move on to some NFL news. And we're going to get our friend Drew's opinion on this one. Let me read the article first. The NFL will now let teams seek limited blockchain sponsorships, but cryptocurrency promotion remains banned. The NFL, in a memo issued Tuesday, granted teams limited permission to seek blockchain sponsorships, a partial reversal from late last summer as the technology grows in popularity among the organization's fans and athletes. The league said it made the decision to allow promotional relationships without undertaking excessive regulator or brand risk after it completed an evaluation of the technology. It does exclude stadium signage, and I'm assuming it also excludes stadium naming rights. Club, right?
For now.
For now, yeah. Clubs will continue to be prohibited from directly promoting cryptocurrency. The memo reads.
Money talks, dude. Money talks. And you know what? The Staples Arena just rebranded to the Crypto.com Arena. And like when you see the potential revenue, don't get it twisted. The revenue is shared with the NFL, with the owners. So if the owners bring in profit, they have to share. A certain percentage goes to the NFL, the organization. So that's how they get paid. So it's all one big pool of money that's essentially a pie, and NFL gets a big chunk. So if all of a sudden if FTX comes out and is like, hey, we want to rename this stadium, and they throw out a big ass number,
$2 billion.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you anything they're going to change some of those policies.
Well, actually,
how much?
You see what had happened was,
we don't like crypto, but
we like money.
Actually, we do like.
So I want to ask Drew. So Drew, you represent a lot of NFL athletes. Are you getting more questions from them about crypto? Are they asking? Are they talking to their friends about what's like the sentiment like inside your workspace?
I guess it kind of just depends who you talk to. Like you saw Odell took a lot of his contract with the Rams in Bitcoin.
Yep.
So it's one of those things. I think everyone's kind of just wait and see. Like with this, they talk about the sponsorship. They'll allow this and that and the other, but it's all like you said. It's money talks, bullshit walks. Dude. Like that's what it's gonna be.
Yep.
Have you been offered by a company, a crypto blockchain company, to sponsor one of your athletes?
Not yet, but that would be cool.
And what would your is that something that you would take and
or be
recommend
open to, or
I ultimately, at the end of the day, I have to present them with the options, and I can give them my input, but it's their career, it's their finances. I have to let them do what they want. But I think that the way things are trending, I don't think that it would be a bad idea to get into.
Now, what if, hypothetically speaking, you had an athlete where he could make, say, X amount of dollars, say $10 million a year, and then in turn, if it was possible to where you would get maybe 20% more by taking it in crypto, if the contract was leveraged by another outside entity, which is a blockchain company. So basically, hey, you can make $10 million a year, or we'll actually bump it up to $12 million a year, per a sponsorship thing. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know the inner workings of contracts, but just a little thought. If you can make more money with crypto, that'd be kind of cool, right?
You're talking about sponsorship or?
Yeah. No, I mean in
More money's
contracts
always
and things
better.
like that. Yeah.
Obviously, of course.
Well, I mean, even like this though, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy to me that they're allowing partial sponsorships, but then they're saying, oh, but we're not going to do this or whatever. And it's all bullshit. It's just so you saw everything that happened with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley suspended for a year because he bet online, but who were one of the major sponsors for the NFL that they air the commercials
Caesars.
times? Yeah. And they bought the naming rights to the New Orleans Superdome.
Yep.
Right? So it goes back to the money talks thing. So all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're against gambling. Just kidding. We got the Mannings, the first family of football, on all the Caesars commercials that you see 10 times during a game. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's interesting. Do you see the trend? Do you see a rising trend of athletes wanting to take a portion or all of their salary in crypto? Can you see that happening?
So I think that it will. So Tom Brady's big on crypto,
Yep.
right? And so Tom Brady's the greatest. So I think that Tom Brady, I think it's going to start to follow suit. I think it was, I can't remember who it was. It was an offensive lineman for the Panthers, I want to say, a couple years ago. Got a lot of his contract, or maybe the full thing in Bitcoin. I can't think of his name. But, and then, like I said, Odell with the Rams and stuff. And I think that you will start to see a trend. I mean, I think that everyone's going to kind of follow the markets and see what happens. But it's, it's like the hip new thing, too, And so I think
Russell Okung.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to see a little bit more of that kind of stuff going forward. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But it's also going to be one of those things where the NFL is going to jump in and try to regulate it too. So we're going to have to see how that kind of pans out.
Yeah. Would that mean essentially you would have to be up to date, on everything going on with crypto and blockchain? So you're able to.
I mean, you got two homies here you can reference.
That's right. Sin City Crypto, baby.
I don't really know how that would work, because my position as an agent is different than a financial manager, right? And so it's difficult to say because the market changes every day in terms of Bitcoin, the price, and everything like that. So it's it's one of those things. I don't really know how they would regulate it because financial managers are regulated through the NFLPA, and so are agents, but they're not regulated together, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because one handles the finances, and then I do the contracts, the negotiations, and stuff like that. And it's like it's two different entities. But I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do think that you will see a lot more like blockchain crypto stuff going on like in coming years.
Does that excite you?
50-50.
50-50? All right. Fair enough. You heard it here first. All right. That was great. Let's talk about Solana. The next article. Some more bad news. Solana stablecoin project Casio went to zero after multi-million-dollar hack.
You know, this isn't Solana's fault.
I
This
know,
is the
I
DApp.
know.
This is the DApp.
I know,
Okay.
but it's still the name Solana's in there. You know, I got to throw some shade at him. The price of Casio's dollar-pegged stablecoin Cash has fallen from 1 to 4 zeros and a 5 after an infinite mint glitch enabled attackers to mint tokens without providing collateral. How the hell does this happen? How the hell do you let this
goes
happen?
Back to our hot take where I was talking about the value of slowly and methodically releasing a protocol and making sure that the code is correct and there's no backdoors and there's no glitches or faults, because when you rush something out, and everything about Solana has been rushed, you know, that's where I got it.
Back to the article. According to DeFi Llama, roughly $28 million of value has been drained from Casio's protocol due to the exploit. And the researcher wrote, quote, "Another day, another fake Solana account exploit." So this is the person who tweeted that. Solana. What are you doing? That's all I got to say. No, this is, you know, I'll take the reins on this one first. This is like a coding back end thing where it's like, duh. You can't, it's like building a car and forgetting to make sure the engine works and then selling the car. Like, what?
You need to work on your analogies, bro.
Shut your damn mouth.
I'm telling you.
All I'm saying is the most integral part of what you're trying to do has to be absolutely bulletproof. I mean, how many people lost their like a shitload of money from
No, a good analogy would be the like I watched a Boeing commercial a couple years ago, and their thing was they had some people who are like, well, nothing can be perfect, and then they had a Boeing engineer come up standing next to an engine, and he was like, I disagree, and I was like, oh, that's a good valid point there. And yes, you're talking about human lives here, but I think after human lives and health, what is probably your health, family, and then finance probably would be third, right?
Coffee.
As far as priority.
Yes.
You say coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee's up there too. So obviously, like, this should be a priority. This should be something you take very seriously. It should be perfect, in my opinion. You know, if you're building an airplane, you want no hiccups. And if you're building a vehicle that provides financial, you rely on with your hard-earned money, your future, your assets, your savings, your livelihood, then hell yeah, that shit should be properly vetted.
This is unacceptable.
And so yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're running a little behind. So this next article, not really too much to discuss. Just want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. Coinbase adds Cardano staking rewards. The exchange announced today it now offers staking for ADA, the native currency of Cardano. In explaining the decision, senior product manager Rupmalini Sahu pointed to ADA's top 10 market cap and its flexible, sustainable, and scalable blockchain design. It's estimating an annual return of 3.75%. to be distributed every 5 to 10 days. I stake
Pretty comparable to the wallet.
Yeah, I stake mine on Kraken, and I get between 4 and 6%, and I get paid every 7 days.
Well, let me tell you, man. Using the native Cardano wallet, the Daedalus wallet, that one is it's kind of frustrating. First of all, if your computer is not up to date, if you ain't got good hardware on your computer, it might have troubles loading the thing up. And I don't know if they're trying to pull up too much data from the blockchain for verification nodes or
You're
what's
right.
going on. But
You're right, because one of my good friends
Dude,
downloaded
man.
the Daedalus wallet on an older laptop.
I'm telling you, just
Remember that 3 days he
Yeah.
was asking you. Then he got a new
Man,
MacBook and it worked
just
fine.
literally opening up the wallet, you have to wait usually between 2 and 5 minutes for it to load.
That's good.
And anyways, outside of that, it can get kind of technical, a little difficult because then you got different mining pools
Especially if
and
you're new.
staking rewards and saturations of different pools. So for your novice users, why not just go to Coinbase and just hit stake instead of trying
You
to
don't even
find a
have to
mining
hit
pool.
stake. It just does it for you
Oh, does it?
automatically. All right, let's move on. This is huge, 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 huge news for not only Solana, but the entire continent of Europe. FTX and CoinShares launched physical staked Solana ETP, aka a spot ETF for Solana. CoinShares, which is one of the largest crypto investment firms in Europe, and FTX have united forces to launch a new physically backed Solana exchange traded product. So in Europe, they call it an ETP. Here in the US, we call it an ETF. Same thing. The new product, titled CoinShares FTX Physical Stake Solana, is launching with 1 million Solana tokens in seed capital, allowing investors to get 3% in staking rewards. So essentially, dividends. The product will be listed on Germany's major digital market, Cetra, and is the fourth ETP rolled out by CoinShares in 2022. The new ETP has a unique staking mechanism that allows users to share staking rewards with investors by reducing the management fee and increasing the coin entitlement of the ETP each day. And this is a quote from CoinShares: "Staked coins do not move from the secure custodian where they are stored, and the ETP remains 100% physically backed at all times." This is so bullish. Robin, go ahead. Take the lead on this one.
Just summarize here, just a good amount of text there or article. Just let's put it clean and simple. You have the Wall Street equivalent in Europe. So you have stocks in Europe, and you can buy or get exposure to a cryptocurrency, and you own the cryptocurrency essentially through the stocks. And on top of that, you earn staking if you just hold it. So as an investor, in let's just I'll use Wall Street. So just imagine if this was here in the US, you could be a Wall Street trader. You could buy stocks of Solana. You would literally be holding Solana. You wouldn't be able to put it in your own wallet, but you physically own the Solana, dollar for dollar, and as long as you hold it, you earn staking rewards. That's badass.
That's amazing.
And so that's something that's lacking here in the U.S. Also, we got a new viewer, Frank Francino. Hola, welcome, Sin City Crypto.
Drew, are you wondering why he's going all Ola over here? That's his trademark. It says welcome to people.
Yeah, that's right.
We're eventually going to. You didn't give Drew an Ola.
Oh yeah, I should give the
Give our guest an
Drew.
Ola.
Hola, welcome.
He's like, I'm
Instead of
never
red
coming
couch
here again.
It's Sin City Crypto.
All right. So just like Robin said, this is huge. And here's another example of the U.S. continuing to be behind the rest of the world when it comes to technology, adopting new technology, and everything in between. Why the hell does Europe get a Solana spot ETF and we can't even get a Bitcoin spot ETF? Unacceptable. Gary the Gun, Gensler, always fucking shit up. Speaking of spot Bitcoin, let's move on to our next article. Spot Bitcoin ETFs could see approvals by 2023, says a Bloomberg intelligence report. Spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, which are also known as ETFs, could start to garner some approvals by mid-2023, given a proposed U.S. SEC rule change that redefines exchanges. This is a quote from the Bloomberg analysts. Expanding the definition of an exchange could eliminate the agency's primary objection to the products by bringing crypto platforms under the SEC's regulatory framework. Once crypto exchanges are compliant, the SEC's primary reason for denying spot Bitcoin ETFs would no longer be valid, likely clearing the way for approval. The two expect the change to be finalized sometime between November of this year and May of 2023. Now, as Robin mentioned, this is speculation, but this is coming from Bloomberg, which is a very, very reputable company news source. What are you going to do, SEC? If you get what you want by regulating the exchanges, what's going to be your excuse to not pass? Curious to see what Gary Gensler comes
I
up with.
still think Grayscale, due to review and determination coming up in September, October.
So, do you
I think they're going to pass.
think they'll pass before this
yeah,
happens?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, this would
I
be
don't
the
know,
second
man.
layer. If they don't pass, then
What if-
obviously this goes through.
Let
Then
me ask you this question, Robin.
what's up?
What if Russia goes through and accepts Bitcoin as legal tender for their energy, and then now that happens before the spot ETF with Grayscale? You think that had any effect
the
on it?
SEC is the Securities and Exchange Commission here in the U.S. that regulates Wall Street and the trade of commodities. And so I don't think that has anything to do with Russia.
Yeah. Okay.
My opinion. So
Again, speculation, but they obviously know something. We'll see. We'll keep tabs on this article for you guys, and we'll keep you up to date. Next article we're going to talk about, we're almost done here. This will be the last one. And then we had one more on the back end. We'll put that in for tomorrow. And then we still have our market overview to go, or our market analysis. Akala's new $250 million fund to drive adoption of AUSD on Polkadot. Akala, which is a prominent parachain on Polkadot, has launched a $250 million ecosystem fund to boost the adoption of its stablecoin, AUSD. The fund will support early-stage startups that are creating applications that have strong stablecoin use cases on Kusama or Polkadot parachains. The fund has already garnered significant attention, including Pantera Capital, which is one of the larger hedge funds that invest in crypto. The fund will be providing early grants in different areas such as DeFi, payments, derivatives, DAOs that are able to utilize their AUSD stablecoin. Akala has also announced that it would be partnering with other parachains on Polkadot, such as Centrifuge, Astar Network, Efinity, Manta, so on the adoption of the AUSD stablecoin. So we can see all parachains that launch on Polkadot use the AUSD stablecoin. The stablecoin can be minted by using collateral tokens on Polkadot, such as DOT, ACA, Kusama, and KAR. Robin, what's up?
just hopefully it doesn't go to zero. Like
doubt it.
what was the other one called?
Zero coin.
No, just proof that the Polkadot ecosystem is growing. This was the first parachain auction winner, right?
Akala was?
Yeah, I think it was Akala, then Moonbeam was second. Anyways, yeah, we're starting to see the roadmap come to fruition. Obviously, you need stable coins for.
It was Akala.
It was?
Yep.
Yeah, you need stable coins for transaction purposes, for DeFi. Without the stable coins, they don't really work. I mean, technically, you can go without it, but a good, diverse ecosystem in the DeFi sector is reliant on the stable coins, and this is the top player for it. So, yeah, things are moving. Might be a good time to get into Polkadot.
Might be.
Speaking of getting into Polkadot, maybe getting into the markets.
We are getting into the market. Let's move on to our last segment of the show, our market analysis. So let's go back to what's changed in the last hour on the market since Robin went over it. If you can pull up my laptop, Eduardo. You have the overall market up 3.5%. We are a hair under $2 trillion, but I want to show you guys the volume. And this is important. When you look at big moves, you want to look at volume. The more volume behind a price move, the more solid and the better chance it has of continuing that trend. And so we've seen volume as low as where to go? As low as in the 50s, and now we are currently over $100 million. Pardon me, $100 billion in volume traded in the overall market. Bitcoin dominance has dropped to under 42%. We saw it as high as almost 44% just a couple weeks ago. So money is flowing out of Bitcoin and is flowing more into altcoins. So is altcoin season upon us? Probably. ETH sitting right under 3,100, and then XRP 85 cents. If you pick some XRP up at 72 cents, that was a great buy zone. Congratulations, you are sitting on a profit. Terra Luna has down 1%, down to $93.90. Then you have Solana pumping up to $101, and Avalanche, $86.
You know, XRP and Cardano have been pretty similar in the price, so I wouldn't be surprised if XRP kind of gets a big pump too. Just because when XRP was at $1, so was Solana. I mean, so was Cardano. So, yeah.
All right, let's look at some charts. So I have the Bitcoin daily chart pulled up here, and I've had this triangle pattern on here for a while now. This is called a ascending triangle. So this means is we are making higher lows, which is very bullish. Typically on ascending triangles, once you get closer to the completion of the formation, we do see a break to the upside. We've talked about this top level here, the 44,500. Robin mentioned this in the overview. This is a critical resistance zone. And if we zoom in, once, twice, 3, 4 times, we have gotten rejected at these zones.
As Booker T. Washington would say, 5 times. 5 times. You know that's wrong?
No.
Booker T. Washington, WWE?
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah, I watched that when I was like 5. So you can see here, if I zoom in a little more, we wicked almost to that 44,500, and we got almost immediately rejected. Just tells me that we have a lot of orders in, a lot of sell orders sitting right around that $44,500 range. This is not good, but volume, higher lows, and just the overall crypto landscape is looking great. So am I bullish on Bitcoin right now? Yes. Would I proceed with caution? Absolutely. Would I take some profits? Yes.
Do you
Yes, I
think
would.
we're going to bounce off of that 44.5, or do you think we're actually going to break through with this?
Looks like that's what's happening. Looks like we are bouncing off. I mean, we've kind of already have bounced off. So
If we were to hit the bottom of that symmetrical triangle there, where would the retracement be if we bounce off?
if we bounce off this one,
Yeah.
at least
Where's
where's it
your
is, right here, this 40,300 would be my guess.
back down to 40?
20-day moving average, yeah.
Basically back down to 40,000.
And if we put on the 50-day moving average, we're sitting at 40,800. So typically those are, you'll see a lot of orders on order books around these 50-day, 20-day, 200-day moving averages, and especially, again, these big resistance zone. If we look at our indicators, though, on the bottom here, we have the ADX, which is measures the direction of the trend, and you can see we are clearly divergent from the positive and negative trend. And on the bottom, this purple line you see here, it is starting to trend up, which means the trend is getting stronger. So anything over 25 on this ADX purple line, you're looking at an extremely strong trend.
What is ADX?
ADX is the average directional index. So you have 3 lines. Red line, which measures the positive direction, red, negative, and then the purple line measures the strength of the trend. So like here, you see it was up here in the 40s, and you can see how strong that trend was. We went all the way from 34 to 44,500. The problem with this, though, it is a lagging indicator. If you want real-time indicators, I'd recommend using crypto stackers. We have the link in our bio. Absolutely amazing, guys. If you want entry-exit points, I would highly recommend it. And then yesterday, Russell asked about Algorand, and I apologize, Russell. I didn't see it. It was a little too late. We're running a little behind, but here you go, my friend. His question was, where do you think algo is going? Would you take profit? So first thing I'm going to look at is a trend. Okay, so I'm using Heikin-Ashi candles here, which help us see the trend a little easier. So we're still looks like we're in a bullish trend. You want to see big green bodies, high upper wicks, no lower wicks. But if I change it to traditional candles, you see here, big green candle, but you see a doji here. So we had some indecision in the market, and then green, green. If I throw the Bollinger Bands on, kind of see where the price is going, we have broken out of the Bollinger Bands, which is extremely bullish. Typically, we do see retracements down to the center line here, which is the 20-day moving average, which put us right around 75 cents. But I don't see that happening. I mean, we've reclaimed this 87 cent resistance level. Next up, we're looking at 98 cents. Once we cross 98, we're looking at green skies ahead. My next target, if we get over 98 cents, will be this $1.46 mark. So that's that. Let's look at waves. So yesterday, I had mentioned taking profit on waves would be a good time. Looking at Crypto Stackers Pro, their easy bands, we were in towards the top of the red easy bands, which is a very strong sell signal. So I want to show you the chart here on TradingView of waves, and I want to show you what the market sentiment is, okay? So anytime you see big green bodies, right, the candles are nice and big and they're filled out, this is very strong. When you see those bodies start to get smaller, proceed with caution. Investors, traders have no idea what they want to do. You can see here, I drew a trend line. This is huge resistance once, twice, and now 3 times we've gotten rejected at this $34.50 mark. And if I have the Bollinger Bands on here, we just went ballistic here. We went from $8.76 all the way up to $34 in less than a month. Less than a month. So that's
Due for a pullback, bro.
it is absolutely due for a pullback. My pullback, I'm assuming we're going to sell it right around here's $19 mark, 19 to 22 bucks towards the lower end of this Bollinger Band. And you can see here on the Arun indicator, the green and the red are starting to converge, which means we see a trend reversal coming. Same thing with the ADX. So if you took profit on waves, great job. If you didn't, and you just don't care, you plan on hodling long term, then it doesn't really matter. But ain't nothing wrong with taking profits. You take some profits, let it sit in there, wait for a dip, buy the dip. That's how you increase
treat
your
yourself,
portfolio.
man. If you made some money, man, don't be all Scrooge over here and lock it all up.
Yep.
You know, go out and treat yourself, man. Even if it's not some luxurious item, you know, maybe make some extra payments on your house. You know, so this way, that's
Of course, none of this is financial advice.
live a little bit, man.
Just a little bit. All right. So on Cardano, I thought we were going to come into this cup and handle, but we didn't. We just kept going up, and we are about to get to this $1.20.
Cardano straight pumping, bro.
Is pumping. Now, we see 4 big green candles. Be prepared for a pullback. Don't be shocked if the price drops back down to $1.02, $1.03. It is natural. It's healthy. It's what is needed. If you see a project's chart, just bloop, stay away from that project. That's not healthy growth. That's not what you want to see. Does it hurt when you see your portfolio go down a little bit? Yes. But you should expect that and know that it's coming.
So you think it's going to retrace back down to that, like, between $1 and like $1.08 mark?
Yeah. So this zone used to be resistance, and now it's definitely support. So at the very least, we will test $1.05.
Okay.
At the very least, which is great. Gives you another time to buy in, better price point. My big profit or target zone for Cardano is this yellow resistance zone. This is key. This is critical. This is $1.56. This has held for quite a bit of time, and then it was resistance back here in April of 2021. We've seen it show resistance in December, in January, where we got completely rejected and went all the way down to the 78-cent mark. If we can reclaim this $1.50.
You remember when we were on the show, not even 1 month ago, screaming that Cardano was 70 cents?
Yes.
Everyone is just like, eh.
You went on BitBoy's channel and you were just telling them people were Cardano, and it's at $3, where it's at 70 cents. What the hell are you waiting for? So that's key, guys. We will see a couple pullbacks, but this $1.45 to $1.58 mark, if we can reclaim that resistance level, I would be comfortable saying we will see new all-time highs this year. $4.50, $5, $6. I mean, the total value locked on the Cardano network has doubled in a month. If that's not about as bullish as it gets, I don't know what is. That's
it, huh?
That's all I got. Yeah.
Right,
Good show today, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I know we didn't get to the club, but I want to give away $25 in Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah?
We have a guest in the house. We're going to have Drew pick So here's what you need to do.
You got to just put the your Twitter handle.
Put your Twitter handle in the chat. We'll give you guys 2 minutes. Put your Twitter handle in the chat. We'll have our guest, Drew, pick a winner. We will send you $25 in Bitcoin. The only way this is going to work now and moving forward, you drop your Twitter handle, we choose you. Then we will DM you on the Twitter handle you posted in the chat. We will strictly ask either for your Bitcoin address
You
or
don't
you.
need to.
Oh, you have to have tip enabled.
Yeah, you just we don't
Twitter?
do nothing. All we do is you put your Twitter handle, we pick your name, we send it. That's it. Simple as that.
You got to follow us on Twitter, and you got to have tip enabled. So once you do that, we will send you $25 in Bitcoin. So go ahead and put your Twitter handle, or if you need to, hurry up and create a Twitter account. We will pick a winner in 2 minutes. All right. So while they're doing that, you excited for tomorrow, Rob?
What's tomorrow?
Blockchain parlay. Oh. How much are we giving out tomorrow, by the way?
I think we were giving out what, at least $50
$50
for the winner. Then we'll probably give away another $50 or something for
randomly
or something like that.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, anyways, let's roll the outro. Let's get it going.
Wait.
Yeah, I know, but we can.
Well, you want to roll the outro and then the?
Yeah. Well, somebody will throw it in there.
Well, looks like no one has Twitter.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll just we'll hold on to that cash if nobody has a Twitter account. Sunfills.
Oh, Sunfills. We said free money. Sunfills is back. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm giving you a hard time. All right. So here's what we'll do then. We'll after the stream ends, put it in the chat, and we'll have Drew pick it after the fact. Because I don't see anybody typing, and we ain't gonna stay here for 5 minutes.
I don't think anybody has a Twitter.
Twitter, I know. It's okay.
How y'all not connected to Twitter, man? What y'all doing?
What the hell wrong with you? Anyways, Eddie, go ahead and roll the outro. On behalf of myself, Robin, and Eddie, and Drew, thank you guys so much for joining us on our show today. We love you guys. We hope you enjoy the content. Come back tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Vegas time. Blockchain parlay results. We're giving out free money. We love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Peace.